The cast of Dead by Daylight includes some of the scariest animals, monsters, and serial killers. Now throw in some characters from Resident Evil, and you have a whole cake of horror. Apparently, it wasn't enough to already have Jill, Leon, and Nemesis in the show. They needed an even bigger crossover. In this video, we'll talk about how you get to see 3 more interesting characters in the Project W chapter. First off, which characters are already part of the game? Yes, we're as excited as you are to see this crossover happening again. Like, DBD's known for the crossovers. It always has been, all the time, and they've got a thing for famous and scary horror characters. You'll probably remember that the last chapter instantly became popular, which explains why the developers want to dip their toes in the same water again. Before they added the new characters, we already had a pretty decent collection of people from the RE universe. This included the Raccoon City map, Leon, Jill, and good old Nemesis. This last chapter's the entire reason why we've got Project W on the way, and it looks like they're throwing in Ada Wong and Rebecca Chambers as new survivors. Second, what about the killer? Well, it looks like Albert Wesker's going to be wearing that hat this time. If we look at his original story and how he's going to fit into this game's lore, Wesker was in the Umbrella and an evil mastermind in both games, but he betrayed his group to go after what he really wanted. Then he made it look like he was dead, but the whole time he was actually making the Ouroboros virus. If we follow the D/D lore, it seems he was taken into the fog after he let the virus infect him, and his original plan was just to let it run wild and kill the weak. Ah yes, good old evil population control. So he's supposed to use the virus to make any survivors stick and stab them with his Mori. Looks like the game's taking off where we left Wesker in RE5, because the timeline of him mirroring other fog killers like Ghostface fits right into this new game. Moving on, voice lines and other cool stuff. As if all of this wasn't exciting enough, DBD leaks gave us even more to chew on. It looks like a lot of characters, both killers and survivors, will have their own voice lines in the new chapter. They posted a video in early August, and it looks like the characters who will have voice lines include Leon, Jill, and the Redfields, among many others. We're not really sure when the survivors will get to say these lines, but we're assuming they'll say them in the lobby or mid-game when they're doing things together like unhooking the generator. It looks like they've all got individual voice lines, even for talking to each other. Ada Wong's got the line, "Leon, be ready." Sheva Alomar, who's supposed to be added as a legendary skin alongside Carlos Oliveira, is the only RE survivor character who hasn't been said to have voice lines. Even though her voice lines weren't in the leak, they might be when the chapter comes out. Also, Wesker's skills work like Nemesis's because they spread infections too. The virus spreads to any survivor who gets caught in his dash. This infection slows survivors down instead of making them more likely to get hurt, as the T-virus does. They must find healing sprays in the supply boxes for this infection to go away. We don't know his special abilities yet, but the developer said they make him feel like a superhuman and a schemer. Yikes. Also, the Mori kill isn't child's play. Like, the best part about Wesker being included is this kill, and it's nothing to take lightly at all. Most of Wesker's kills are quick and violent, and Mori's no different. Based on reactions, it seems that most people like his attacks. Behaviour Interactive also gives players surveys and votes every now and then. One from last year decided which character in the game killed Mori the best, so it'll be interesting to see where Wesker ranks now if that vote is ever redone after more characters are added. Doesn't matter which side you're on, if you like seeing the Mori kills, then you're in for a sweet ride. The new plan apparently is to make these Mori kills visible so that bad angles don't ruin them, and that you don't have to make an offering just for the chance of a Mori kill. From what we've heard, the Mori moment will take place in a special location, where the player will get to carry out their finisher. In a series of 3 videos released by DBD Leaks, the killer can first see Albert Wesker's Mori, in which the survivor punches the killer in the face before being torn apart by his tentacles. Wesker also has a voice line in the clip. Before he throws the survivor to the ground, he says, "Let's finish this," and it won't be censored, so expect some violence. Finally, what else do we know about the game? The first chapter is definitely one of the best parts of the game, but it did have one flaw. Even though it's fun to look around the Raccoon City Police Department in Dead by Daylight, we'd be lying if we said that the map isn't a little controversial. Some people even called RPD the worst map in the game. Sure, it stays true to the original, making it harder to play than it would be otherwise. They honestly could have gone a little easy on us there. Behaviour's decided to do something about this. Even though the RPD will stay true to its original design, the developers have made some big changes to how the map is played. First, it'll be split into 2 maps, RPD East Wing and RPD West Wing. The main hall will be on both maps, but the other half of the building won't be. Now that there are 2 smaller maps, each one will be made bigger to show more of the outside of the building. One of the worst things about RPD is that there are a lot of dead ends, and it's hard to get around. These newer versions will have many more entrances and exits, and rooms and hallways will be bigger. Let's hope these changes make both RPD maps easier to play and less annoying. And here's some other related news you might have missed out on. First off, what's going on with Resident Evil Village's DLC? We're sure you're as excited as we are to get Shadows of Rose in October. There's a lot of pressure that this new DLC is gonna face because, let's be real, Resident Evil 7 set the bar pretty high. Like, we'd be lying if we said we're were not all hoping for some kind of connection between the upcoming game and the older one, but it looks like they're already on the right track with this one. The mysterious new playable story's gonna show us a young Rosemary Winters against some fan-favorite villains. We'll get Lady Dimitrescu and Karl Heisenberg as controllable mercenaries mode characters. It looks like the game could really bring it home by using exactly what made RE7's DLC such fun and satisfying additions to the game. What we know about the DLC is that it's going to throw in some banned footage and bits of the Not a Hero and End of Zoe campaigns. Plus, the first set's gonna be like a collection of minigames and short stories focusing more on the Baker family. Like, imagine getting to know more about the bad guys in 7. Second, Unreal Engine 5's getting a fan remake. When you're dissatisfied, you take things into your own hands, and it looks like that's what these fans decided to do by making a new PC version of the cult classic Resident Evil 1 with Unreal Engine 5. You can't really blame them either. When the original game was remastered and released in 2015, we were all waiting for some update on the remake for this game, but it never came. Plus, many people have already been talking about how the games aren't like how they used to be. So this nostalgia-fueled decision came before RE5 and 6, when we couldn't really deny that the game had reached its former glory. But then, we noticed that the newer versions made it more action-oriented than horror. Like, that's literally why we love the series so much. Why would you take it away? Sure, RE7 restored the power of its horror, but we wanted to see more of the old fixed camera angles and tank controls. To clarify, this is an unofficial remake, but it's pretty gorgeous regardless. Finally, from Capcom to NetEase. Everybody wants to grow their career eventually, and this old-time Resident Evil game producer was no different. Like, come on, he gave a good 27 years of his life to Capcom. He deserved a break. In an interview, Hiroyuki Kobayashi promised that he didn't plan to quit giving us the best games, and that's what we expect from the man responsible for Capcom's high-quality gameplay. If you didn't know, he goes way back with Capcom. He was even there for the original 2 Resident Evil games. He's also been a planner for Dino Crisis and Devil May Cry. He was there for the remake, RE4, Killer 7, and even for Dragon's Dogma. Like, with his resume, it's no surprise that the Chinese game developing firm wasted no time in taking him on board. He's an asset that they definitely won't regret investing in. That's a wrap for this video. Are you looking forward to playing these characters in the upcoming game? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.